Hi, my name's Drew Monson, and I've always been obsessed with celebrities. I'm not even joking, I'm obsessed with celebrities and pop culture. So much so that like I get confused and almost offended when other people aren't as obsessed as I am. Like, you know when you bring up whoever, like Bill Hader to someone and they go, wait, who's Bill Hader? And you're like, what do you mean? Like, who's Bill Hader? Like, you're doing a joke, you're playing a prank on me? Who's Bill Hader? Because if so, like, that's funny, good one. Anyway, I felt like making a video today and I couldn't figure out what to do it about. And then I was like, wait, I love talking about celebrities. So I'm just gonna go through a list of famous people and tell you how I feel about each one and see if you get mad. And it'll be fun. Sorry, I'm tending to my ponytail. You can tune in right now and see if I insult any of your favorites. That being said, if you're in one of those weird angry style fan communities on Twitter and get so mad about whatever I'm about to say in this video that you wish me to be dead, please stop and you're annoying and find a new way to live your life. I know that your mom and dad want that really bad. Everyone you love is worried about you. Like, they have to be. I don't know, I want to do different things on my YouTube channel, so we'll see if this is entertaining. Let me know. Tyler. Shawn Mendes. I feel like you know that someone's music isn't that interesting when like pictures of them and their ex from like 5 years ago are more compelling than any track they've ever laid down in the studio. Like this picture of him wearing a CrossFit t-shirt and her wearing a You Go Girl t-shirt is a better song than Stitches. Cause like honestly, that's what it feels like to be in a relationship. Like, that's what year 2 feels like. And I'm not even saying that like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like at a certain point when you fall in love, you have to start taking your Minion mug outside to keep things interesting. Jacob Elordi. I don't actually know how to say this guy's name. It's either Elordi or Elordi. This guy's in a lot of movies right now. Very handsome, clearly, but not in a way that's interesting. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that he's the boring type of attractive. So you can tell that he's trying to make up for that and compensate by being seen at the airport reading a book all the time. Like, if you are, say, Jeremy Allen White, the guy from The Bear, you don't have to do that. You don't need to read a book at the airport. Your face is already reading a book at the airport. Like, look at that guy. Like, he's interesting already. Like, he looks like he's been to war, but also, like, makes psychedelic pop music that he's never shown anyone and never will. Like, he doesn't have to. Selena Gomez. I was Googling Selena Gomez before I started filming this video. Look at this quote I found on BuzzFeed. I don't know if it's true, but listen to this. Right after Selena Gomez's 2014 breakup with Justin Bieber, she requested that no one on her team go by the name Justin. The Justins. Like, I just imagine them being a really unified group that really got to know each other throughout this experience. And like, to this day, there's like an active Justins group chat where they like show each other support and love, and they're like, hey man, you're a Justin. Keep that in mind, like, always. The Justins who did work for her each chose different monikers to use when the pop star was around. Do you think they had a ceremony? And Selena Gomez's manager has like a golden name tag and he's like, Justin, I now pronounce you David. And the thing about this is like, it says 2014. I looked it up. She was like 21, 22 at the time. She had been famous since she was like a little baby on Barney. She was on Barney. If you give a child so much power for so long and treat them like they are royalty, I'm sorry, but eventually they're gonna start changing the names of all the Justins around them. And like, honestly, I kind of get it. Like, I don't have that power, but if I did, I'd probably use it. Like, a lot of people have hurt me. Most of them weren't trying to. Most of them were like just talking. So like, if I had a team, if I had a whole staff around me, you bet I'd be like, sorry, you can't be Kayla anymore. She was rude. Sorry, did I just hear you call yourself Caleb? Cause you're not, baby, you're not. Post Malone. I don't like this freak. I think that I'm mostly just mad and kind of jealous because he has somehow successfully turned looking dirty into an aesthetic that people accept and are like excited by. Like, I've tried that for many years. It doesn't work. I had to start showering. I've come on here with nails that haven't been clipped for 3 months with a little bit of mud in them, and all of a sudden it's Drew, I can't watch your videos anymore. I think I'm gonna be sick. But when Posty does it on the VMAs, he gets a Grammy. Olivia Rodrigo. The only thing I want to say about Olivia Rodrigo is, I don't know if you go on Twitter as much as me, I hope you don't, but there's this thing where people get mad and like call other people immature for listening to Olivia Rodrigo if they've reached a certain age. Like I've seen things gone viral where they're like, if you're 27 and listening to Olivia Rodrigo, grow up. And like, I don't know what that means. Like, first of all, why can't you be immature? Like, that's fun. It's weird because like, I don't think people get mad at me when I listen to the Goofy movie soundtrack, and I do. Like, am I allowed to listen to Baby Shark? Like, you would think that was funny, but all of a sudden, somebody pops on Olivia Rodrigo on their way to work just trying to get through the day, and somebody's angry. And I guess, or I'm guessing it's because Olivia Rodrigo herself is young. Like, I don't know how old she is, 19, 20, but like, every pop star ever has been really young when they started. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, the Beatles were like 20, 21 years old when they got famous. People don't get mad at you for, well, actually some people get mad at you for listening to the Beatles, but I'm gonna keep doing it because look at me. I'm gonna listen to the Beatles. You don't grow this ponytail and not use it. I just looked it up to see if I remember this correctly. Stevie Wonder was 12 years old when his first album was released. Now, whether or not that was healthy for him, I don't know, but nobody's gonna get mad at me for listening to Stevie Wonder. So what is it about Olivia Rodrigo? So I don't understand, if anyone knows where this is coming from, is it like people think that you're creepy for listening to the music of a young woman? Or is it just another thing where like people are mad because life sucks and they just are like taking it out on something that doesn't make any sense? Like, we all know that you're actually mad at your mom or your ex, and this has nothing to do with Olivia Rodrigo fans in their early 30s. That's when I did. Like, I don't know if you've seen Testing As Seen on TV products from me from 7 years ago where I think I tried to shave my leg or something. But it was really, really good and it changed people. And I just want to say, as the artist behind that video, I give you full permission to watch my videos from when I was 21. That does not make me uncomfortable. You have my consent. Ariana Grande. People are talking a lot about Ariana Grande right now, or they were a few months ago, because she's dating a guy who was married with a kid, but she like took the guy from the wife, I guess, and the kid. And I know it's like super easy to like judge her for that, but like, I just want to say, and I mean this, like, you never know what's going on with somebody and like why they do the things they do and what the entire story is. Like, I feel like it's possible she's possessed by Satan and he's like, we don't know, like he could be making these decisions for her. Like, that happens to people. Leonardo DiCaprio. Why does he frighten me like a little bit? Like, whenever I see a picture of him, he's got like a little cap almost over his entire face. It looks like he's in hiding. I know that he like wants privacy and the paparazzi's always taking pictures of him and like that's why, but there's something about the way that he does it where it feels like he's on the run. But I guess that isn't fair, because like, you know those pictures of celebrities where they're like stopped at a red light and the paparazzi uses so much flash that their eyes are like this and they look like they've been caught. They could like be on their way to a very legitimate fundraiser for a non-profit and it's still like, what did you do, Timothy? What's happening? Like, if you took a picture of your grandpa like that, he would look guilty. Matt Rife. This guy is having a moment right now. I don't know what kind of moment it is, but I have to talk about him at least a little bit. I almost feel like hating on Matt Rife right now has almost become corny. Like, it's too obvious. It's like, yeah, duh. Like, I know. It's like being like, Barney is stupid. Like, yeah, it's for kids. I will say, I watched his entire Netflix stand-up special with two of my friends. It was crazy how bad it is. Like, there's a part, I don't want to plagiarize, full credit to Matt Rife, mostly because I don't want anyone to think I came up with this, where he goes, people out there these days are afraid of clowns. Hey, it was something like, he's looking at the audience, he goes, I know you out there in the audience are like, well, I dated a few clowns. And the audience like laughed. Like, that was his joke. Like, he wrote that down in a notebook or like on his laptop. I'm actually curious what his process is. And like, yeah, it was bad. Like, obviously. Like, Matt Rife's stand-up special was bad. Life is hard. Treat others the way you wish to be treated. These are just things that we say. These are things that we know. First, let me just say, he's wearing this outfit in it. And listen, I'm not a fashionista. To be clear, this is what I'm wearing right now. So, that being said, actually, these were like $30 at Macy's. And I got this at a thrift store, but it is from Banana Republic. But he's wearing this outfit that like, it feels like what somebody would think is cool if they like died in 2010. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing that Justin Bieber wore in the Baby music video. And that was a while ago. Like, if you watch that music video on YouTube now, it's like in 480p. But what really struck me about it is like, he seems genuinely really sad, and like it seems like he doesn't know that. And beforehand I was like, this guy sucks, like I kind of hate him, like he bugs me. And after watching him for an entire hour, I can honestly say that all I feel is like sympathy. Like, I want him to get better, because like the entire thing, he obsesses over everyone who doesn't like him and his haters. He spends like a half an hour talking about people tweeting him mean things, but he still tries so hard to maintain this like, I don't give an F attitude, and like that doesn't make sense. Like, you have to see that that's not real. It's like he's the stand-up comedian equivalent of one of those people who like every single day posts something vague on their Instagram story that's like, and you really thought I was gonna care, didn't you? And you're like, yeah, like we all did. Like, we all see you caring. You don't know exactly what it's about, but like one thing's for sure, they care. Like, they're clearly trapped in a torture chamber that they've unfortunately created for themselves that is constructed with how much they care. Jenna Ortega, she's very famous right now. What's interesting to me about her is that like, she's what, like 20, 21 years old? Whenever you see her in an interview, because I watched her interview on Hot Ones, because I watch every Hot Ones, okay? Not to be rude, but I watch every Hot One. She almost carries herself. I'm not saying she looks like one, but she has the essence of like a 39-year-old, like with a really good job, like a very polite and successful 39-year-old who like works at a firm. I don't even know what that means or what kind of firm, but like if you listen to Jenna Ortega talk, it sounds like somebody who works at a dang firm. By the way, Sean Evans, host of Hot Ones, interesting guy. He makes me feel calm. I looked up pictures of him with his fiance or wife, and I liked the pictures. I thought they were cool. And I saw him being interviewed on a show where the host asked if he ever had a crush on somebody who was on his show, and he said Keke Palmer, and that made me think of Nope, the movie that Keke Palmer was really, really good in, and that's a great movie. And anybody who here's my impression of somebody who's wrong. Yeah, I don't know, cause like, I loved Get Out. Like, I loved Get Out, but I didn't like Us, and Nope didn't make any sense to me. What are you talking about? Nope was like the most beautiful movie I've seen in 30 years, and I'm only 28. Jordan Peele is getting better and better, and if you don't see that, that's fine. You're just not ready to. Your time will come, daddy dear. And the next celebrity I wanted to talk about is Raycon. Wait, that's not a celebrity, that's my sponsor. Goofy laugh. Mom, was that funny?
Not really funny, more cute.
Okay. I have their everyday buds, and they come in a really cute small case that like feels good. You know when something just feels good? They're noise isolating, and don't you just want noise to be isolated sometimes? I use them when I'm doing my own chores, like cleaning my own kitchen floor with a paper towelette, and I listen to podcasts about Hollywood history while I isolate the sound around me. And they help me because I don't have to deal with any wires fiddling their way down my stomach.
Okay.
And right now they got limited time bundles. They got their fitness kit, they got their everyday audio kit. Can you tell that I'm wearing them right now as I talk about the various kits? A 3-pack of headphones sounds good to me. Not to be rude or like imply that you haven't, but Raycon has basically made a name for themselves in premium audio with products like their everyday earbuds, plus their new line of Raycon Home and Raycon PowerTech products. They've got like super fast chargers for sale. Don't you want to charge fast? This holiday season, get premium audio and PowerTech at a great price. And save even more doing it. Go to buyraycon.com/thanksdrewomg to get 15% off site-wide. And if you do that and you buy them, you're supporting this channel. And by this channel, I mean this guy. And by this guy, I mean Little Coco Drew. Thank you so much. Sabrina Carpenter. I barely know who this is. I know she's a singer. I just want to say, if you're gonna, I don't like people who have a last name that's an occupation, but they don't do that occupation. Like, don't trick me. Like, if your name is Sabrina Carpenter and I show up to one of your concerts and I paid full price, I'm expecting you to at least build like a small, like one of those tiny homes by the end of the show. But no, the entire time you're just like singing pop about your ex, which like, that's fine, do that, but do it while you're like building a coffee table. I'm not asking you to go crazy. I don't want you to be IKEA here. I'm just saying, show me a hammer, dear. Matty Healy. This is somebody that I don't find interesting at all. And let me just say, I love at least like 9 songs from his band. Like, I'm not fully a hater of this guy. I'm not. But it annoys me that he wants to be a performance artist so bad, because like, nobody's asking for that. Like, I think people are coming to your concert because they think your songs are fun and they want to go watch you sing them in an auditorium. Everything else you're doing beyond that point, people are just tolerating, and they're not gonna tell you that. Like, if you don't know who he is, he gives these speeches on stage where he talks about like how we're all slaves to consumerism and blah blah blah. And it's like, why is the guy from the 1975 giving cultural commentary from 1995? He's like, the television is turning us all into lazy bums. It's like, I know, we already did that. We covered that, like, as a society a while ago. Like, you're good. Like, next song, please. Come on, baby. Lana Del Rey. Honestly, don't get mad at me. I think she's probably a genius and I just don't understand it, but I can't get into that music. I almost feel like you have to like vape a lot to really enjoy Lana Del Rey. And I quit. I do love, I don't know if you've seen the paparazzi video of her where the guy is filming her and asks her on a date and she's like kind of down. She's like kind of into it. She's like, well, where are we going? Like, that's my favorite video on YouTube. Like, someone should turn that into a 1-act play. I honestly think, and I know this is kind of a cringy thought to have when you see a celebrity and you're like, we'd be friends. But I don't know if we'd be friends, but I feel like if Lana Del Rey met me, she'd like think I was funny. Like in a way where she also thinks I'm weird and she's like kind of annoyed and rolling her eyes to her friends, but she's like, he was kind of funny. Boy Genius. Have you heard of this band? I don't hate Boy Genius. I like Phoebe Bridgers' first album. I like a few of their songs. That being said, it's just too much. There's just Boy Genius oversaturation happening. I feel like they walk a red carpet every day. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, do all 3 of them live in a big house that has a red carpet in front of it? Why are you doing so much press? Like, you gotta say no to something. Like, that's what makes you cool. Like, when I can tell that when your managers email you, like, do you wanna? They're like, yeah. I wanna. I'll take an Uber, yeah. Whoopi Goldberg. I know this is kind of a random one, but I was looking up stuff about Whoopi Goldberg, and I found this quote from her. Did you know this? This is why she's called Whoopi Goldberg. She said, when you're performing on stage, you never really have time to go into the bathroom and close the door. So if you get a little gassy, you've got to let it go. So people used to say to me, you're like a whoopee cushion, and that's where the name came from. She got a name, that's her name because she farted. I'm actually surprised more celebrities aren't named after loving to fart. Like maybe the cast of Sons of Anarchy, I could see them having farting names. Duck Dynasty, obviously. Billie Eilish. My first thought on Billie Eilish is I just think it's fascinating that somebody has become so famous while being named Billy. Like, I don't know about you, but growing up, Billy, that was like a name of like a guy from the South on a cartoon who's like, I'm Billy. And everyone's like, Billy stinks. And that's like the joke, that Billy's stinky. Like, imagine if Avril Lavigne had been named Billy Levine. Like, it wouldn't have worked. We wouldn't have accepted it. We would have been hitting our beanies over and over. The other thing I want to say about Billie Eilish is I love documentaries about musicians and famous people. I watched her entire documentary on Apple TV, and what really struck me is there's this part in the movie where she's relentlessly touring. Everyone is just sucking all the money they can out of her, and like, she's doing it, but she's also like very young and kind of overwhelmed. And eventually, after like 8 months, she's dancing and jumping. She does this dance move where she just jumps. Like, she just trampolines for fun. And she develops these like problems with her legs where she's limping, she's like hobbling around, and her dad's backstage like, Billy, don't forget to ice your legs. And she's just like in the ice for 7 hours. And there was just something kind of depressing about the fact that, I don't know, I was just like, wow, this is how that industry works. Like, at least 500 fully grown adults' livelihood depend on this teenager trudging through her like early onset sciatica. Also, one more thing. Is there anybody else in this generation that has influenced the way young people have looked as much as Billie Eilish? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll just be walking down the street and I'll go, is that Billie Eilish? Oh no, that's just a 20-year-old. Like, there's so many Billie Eilishes on Earth right now. That actually gives me an idea. Because like, judging from that documentary, Billie Eilish like clearly needs a hip replacement of some sort. Scratch that, Billy. Just take one of them. Plop one of your minions on stage, show them how to do the trampoline. Kendall Jenner, can I just say, and let me know, maybe I'm just totally out of the loop, what happened to Kendall Jenner? I feel like I see a picture of Kylie Jenner once a week and have for the past 10 years of my life. But it feels, to me at least, like Kendall went missing in 2019. Like, I know Kylie has the biggest makeup brand ever, but like, what happened to Kendall? I feel like she works at H&M. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, I don't like your commercials. They're stupid. Please stop making them. Please just like close your wallet. There's enough money in there. Just, I know it's tight, just like, get that zipper. I know that like 99% of celebrities' main goal in life is to make as much money as possible, but Ryan, this is too much. Like, I think you have an addiction to like dollar bills. He has like a drink company. He's got a cell phone. He has a cell phone company? I'm sorry, but that is like the least cool thing anyone has ever done. That's like less cool than when like a dad has one of those cell phone holders on their belt buckle. Like, that's cooler than owning us and being like, hi, I'm Ryan Gosling. Stop. Like, just be in a bad movie. Stop talking to me about unlimited data. Like, you should never be saying that unless you're like playing a loser who works at a cell phone company in a movie. That would be freaking funny. And then naturally we move on to Blake Lively. Blake Lively, I think you should divorce Ryan Reynolds. Have you seen what he's doing? It's embarrassing. I love that movie you were in, A Simple Favor. I'm not being sarcastic. I thought it was an excellent comedy thriller. You did a great job in it. Please get a divorce, or even just separate. Just take like 6 months off from Ryan Reynolds and do some good work. I know you have it in you. And honestly, Blake, like, we know you want to divorce Ryan Reynolds. Like, anyone would. Like, we're here for you. We know it can't be easy. We can only imagine. That's why we want to help. Miley Cyrus. I don't even really have much to say about Miley Cyrus except for the fact that I was Googling Miley Cyrus and I found this picture of her in this outfit and I'm confused. That, like, why did she dress up as JoJo Siwa? I just find that interesting. That, like, was it Halloween? Like, it's good. She did a great job. Millie Bobby Brown. I don't have anything to say about Millie Bobby Brown except for the fact that her name is fun to say, number one. And number two, I feel like if you met Millie Bobby Brown, she'd be like, Katy Perry. I remember when, at least to me, when I was like 12 or 13, the edgiest thing you could do was be Katy Perry saying on MTV that you K'd a G. And now, like, she looks more like a Republican than anyone I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know when you go to a Halloween store and they have like celebrity masks, but they don't say who the celebrity is, even though it's like clearly Justin Bieber, it'll say like pop singer. They could have that for like Katy Perry, like just a Katy Perry mask, but it says on the tag like GOP mother of two. Like, they'd get away with it. Like, they would get away with that. Katy couldn't sue. That being said, Katy Perry, your song Dark Horse, that's a really great song. I loved listening to it when I used to listen to it. I miss listening to it. I might just listen to it tonight. Thank you for the song Dark Horse, Katy Perry. Thank you so, so much. Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran is certainly interesting because he's really in the genre of one of those people who is so famous. Like, he's one of the most successful entertainers of all time. All time. Look it up. But you've never met anyone, ever, who's like, I love Ed Sheeran. And you know what bugs me about Ed? Or not Ed, but like the culture of Ed. Is I feel like it's like a popular thing to say, to be like, ew, Ed Sheeran is so ugly. Did you see him? He's on a stage and a bunch of people are looking at him, but he doesn't look that good. Isn't that weird? Little Missy, I bet you anything that if you saw Ed Sheeran like at a party talking to everybody and they're just looking at him like he's important and he's wearing like a perfectly fitting tight hoodie and he's wearing glasses that you didn't know that he wore, you'd start drooling, like a little bit, like even intellectually. Like, I bet you anything, if you were out in public going, oh yeah, Ed Sheeran's so ugly, and all of a sudden you feel 2 light taps on your shoulder, you turn around, who is it? It's Big Ed. You'd immediately lock up. You'd be like, sir, yes, sir. You'd be like, is there anything you need, sir? Bradley Cooper. I actually like you in a few movies. I think you're kind of cool. That being said, you sounded awful in A Star Is Born. You should have taken more vocal lessons. Not 1 ounce of my brain believed when I was watching that movie that that guy you were playing would be like a famous rock star. Not for a second. Bradley. Not for a second. You should have had Shawn Mendes do it instead, okay? You should have lip-synced Shawn Mendes. Actually, scratch that. You should have listened to Drew Monson's new album, I'm Dead, streaming everywhere now. Taken some notes from the vocal king, not even making a joke right now, the vocal king. You should have sang like this.
Told him I'm not afraid of dying. I'm scared of me. I wanna see the sunset. I'm ready to.
And I'm serious. Johnny Depp. Isn't it crazy that like 25 years ago, this guy, I thought this guy was like the pinnacle of cool and like what you want to be. And today, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying to you right now. If I saw him on the street, I'd walk away, I'd walk into a building, and I'd wash my hands. Kim Kardashian. I love Kim Kardashian because somehow she feels like the dumbest and smartest person like at the same time. Like she'll be talking about the most mundane, superficial thing you've ever heard in your life, but saying it as though she's like the first lady, like speaking on policy on MSNBC. Like it's kind of beautiful. She'll just be sitting there like, yeah, and Chloe said that GQ hadn't reached out, but I called Mark and they had. And it's like, that's so dumb, but like at the same time, I feel like you have a PhD somehow. Scott Disick. I think this guy is married to one of the Kardashian people. I know he's on that show. Personally, I just bring him up because I think he's interesting in that I almost feel like he's not real. My brain just kind of rejects him. Every time I see him, it's like, I don't know, I think you fell asleep. That's not a real guy. You're clearly just like having a dream right now about a guy, and that's what you came up with. And I hope he isn't real, by the way. Like, I hope that one day my parents sit me down and are like, yeah, we made that up. We were lying to you about Scott Disick. We just wanted you to feel the power of imagination for a little while. We edited him into the Kardashian seasons for you. Your father made him on AI. He thought it would be funny. Shakira. I love Shakira. She has such a unique voice, and I almost wish that it wasn't so unique. And what I mean by that is, I almost wish that the Shakira voice was the voice that everyone did right now, instead of that like cursive singing voice that's like Alma. That voice where if you don't know, it's when people are like thy do and thy yes I don't know what. And it's almost British. I wish they were all doing Shakira instead. Like if you turned on Spotify and went to the like indie rock vibes playlist, everyone was just like hiya here, hiya here. Lil Nas X. I will say, sir, I'm fascinated by you, but the tweets ruin it for me. Do you have anyone like that where it's like, I'm so close to caring about you, to cherishing you even, but you're just too active on social media? Like if you're famous, I want to have to guess what you're doing, like all the time. I don't want to know. Because the second I know, it's not beautiful anymore. It couldn't be. Like, you know, sometimes you go, I wonder what Tom Hardy is doing right now. He'll never tell you, and that's good. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I don't have a lot to say, but I would like a little hug, you know? I want it to hurt a little bit, like I want a big squeeze too. Not even in a nice way, like I want him to hug me while he's frowning. Rihanna, let me just say first and foremost, I love that one song where you go, and you go, excite me. I love the way you say excite me in that song. I guess Rihanna doesn't really make music anymore. She just has like a big brand that does seem to have some like labor issues going on with it. Because I see a lot of people now being like, Rihanna, stop making makeup. We need the new album. We want the new album. Please make new music. But knowing what I know about her company and the articles I've seen, like, are you sure you want a new album? Like, given her practices, I don't really want to know what a new album would be like. I'd be worried that it would be played by like an 11-year-old on a synthesizer in a factory at like 4 a.m. Joaquin Phoenix. I like Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's an interesting actor. You never know what he's gonna do with his face next. That being said, something about like his celebrity, just like totally outside of his work. As a celebrity, he annoys me because I feel like he tries too hard to act like aloof and kind of over it all and like judgmental of the Hollywood machine and talking about how ridiculous it all is and like, oh, I don't like to talk about myself. Like, stop. Stop. Then don't do it. Like, don't be in the biggest movies of the year then. Stop pretending. And if you have such a problem with it, Joaquin, then let me do it. You know what I mean? I'll do the interviews. I'll hype up Hollywood the whole time. I'll be like, I love this. It's good for you. it's good for me. Like, I'll say that. I'll sing that. Seth McFarlane. I don't know why I wanted to talk about Seth MacFarlane. I don't know if people really care about him, but I'm just fascinated by the idea of, like, he made Family Guy. Like, can you imagine, like, if you made Family Guy? Like, imagine that's your dad. For just once, close your eyes and imagine with me, that's your dad. And people are like, what's your daddy do for a living? I don't know why they'd be talking to you that way, but imagine they did. And they're like, what's your daddy do? And you're like, honestly, he made Family Guy. I don't even mean to be weird, but like, he went ahead and he made Family Guy. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Seth MacFarlane. Give this video a thumbs up. The Weeknd. I know people hate The Weeknd, but I'll be honest, I don't know if you have anyone like this, but I listen to like maybe 5 of his songs about once a year. I listen to them with headphones on over and over again, like 12 times each. I'm talking about a 60-song marathon from The Weeknd, and I love it. And then I just put him away for next time. It's almost like a Christmas tree. Like, you can't have it out all year. It loses its magic. And now for the political celebrities portion of the video. Barack Obama. I swear, Barack. That's so funny. Donald Trump. Get out of here. Stop. Ivanka Trump. Girl, you are crazy. Anyway, I hope this was fun. I'm gonna go talk on my Patreon for a little longer. If you didn't know, I have a Patreon where I make a bonus video for all my videos. And I put one of your songs on there and she was like, I love Drew. And I was like, I made a cameo for someone from a band that I like. And then I looked to see if he was lying, like who he was following. And there's at least like 200 videos on there. So if you go on there, there's some good ones. If you pay some money, you can see those. I also have a second channel. If you didn't know, because sometimes I post on this channel and people are like, I thought you died. But I'm like, no, I'm just somewhere else. I don't know why I do it that way or if it's a good idea career-wise to do it that way, but that's what I do. Leave me a comment, I'm very lonely. Leave me a comment, I'm very lonely. Leave me a comment, Sorry, that wasn't very pretty. Let me do one more. Imagine if Bradley Cooper sang like that. By the way, if you're still watching this, I just want to say, because I gotta tell somebody this. I had a dream about Hank Green. You know the YouTuber Hank Green? I like watching him talk about science, but I had a dream that he was being really mean to me, like really mean, like really going in on me. He kept saying the same thing. He kept going, Drew, you're not smart enough to be witty about politics. I don't know what that meant, but in the dream I was like, he's right. And I was like screaming at him. And I know I yell in my sleep. So if there was a video camera on me, which I wish there was, I probably would have been like, Hank, it's not true. Hank, it's not true. But I was like, stop. But I knew. I was like, you're right. Like, I'm not smart enough to be witty about politics. And I guess that's one of my insecurities. So if you don't mind, you know, sending me a little comment saying that I am very well, say it in your own words. But I swear, if you come at me with the same thing Hank said to me, we're gonna have problems. And I know how to make problems. This one's for Hank. Leave me a comment, I'm very lonely. Leave me a comment, I'm very lonely. And when he hit the guitar, we knew he was someone to look forward to. Okay. See you soon. I don't know.